everybody. Welcome. We're gonna do a tarot chat today. This is my lovely sister-in-law, but sister, Maria. Maria's a mental health worker. And she's bringing a cool extra twist to the whole gamut of tarot. So, everybody, welcome Maria.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here and talk tarot. Tea and tarot.
Tea and tarot, except we have no tea.
I should have made tea.
Damn it, Maria.
Next time. We're working on the tea and tarot.
We're working on the tea. So next time when we do visit, we'll do tea. I know there was the intention of having tea.
There was.
I think we just kind of forgot because we were so engrossed in our topic.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about tarot, obviously, but with a twist. So we're going to talk about it in relation to health. And so mental health, but also physical health. And this is an area for me, and I know Maria, we were just talking about how when you're doing a reading for another person, like a lot of times they do want to know about health, like, how am I doing in terms of physical health, or not too often where they ask about mental health, but that does come up often with tarot. So we wanted to take a twist on it in terms of a practical sense. Of how we can get messages in terms of health, or how we could look at the cards in terms of like more of a physical health. So that's what we're doing today.
Yes, and it's exciting. I think it's something that we're both kind of doing off the cuff.
Yeah.
Just having a look at the cards and seeing what kind of impressions we get and what are some of the interpretations that we could do with the cards.
Yeah. And funny enough, we're both using the Druidcraft. Although it's funny because we have two different kinds. I've got my one that is borderless, and Maria has
I have the full border.
There we go. So it's awesome. So we're gonna have the same kind of deck working. Just one's gonna be a little bit different from the other. Okay, so how do you want to kick this off? Do you want to just kind of jump in, or?
Sounds good. Now, if you were to pull some cards, what are some general rules that you've worked with in terms of health? Do you have any kind of overall, generally if I see this, then it could be an indicator of health?
Like for me, I do have quite a few cards. Well, not quite a few, a select few that right away it kind of stands out. One is actually my main one, funny enough. Now this is in terms of physical health, but is the moon. This one in the Thoth deck usually has a little, there's kind of like a red river kind of thing kind of coming through. There's this symbology of womanhood in that card. And so anytime I see the moon now and these two pillars, I always think the menstruation cycle. So that's
neat.
That's every time. So it's usually the hormonal cycle. Usually someone's they're feeling those ups and downs, the waves of hormones. So often when this card comes up in a situation, I say like, have you been feeling those ups and down surges? And almost every time it's a yes. So
wow, makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yes. So it's definitely, I'll bring them even to the idea of maybe taking a look at the moon cycle and seeing how are you feeling, like maybe you make a note on the calendar if you're noticing like these waves of similar cycles. Take a look at where you are in terms of the moon cycle, maybe write it down on your calendar, and then wait for the next cycle to come around and see, are you in the same place? Are you feeling those same emotions? And maybe it might even be relating to the moon.
Yeah, that is very interesting because I was getting the moon card a lot actually about last Christmas, and it's just been the last few months. I hadn't related it, but I realized that a lot of my ups and downs personally were hormonal related.
No way.
And once I caught that, it's been like downhill ever since. It's been lovely ever since.
But, oh my gosh! Yeah, so anytime it comes up for you too,
it was recurring. It was probably about 2 weeks that's all I was pulling was the moon, and it was like spirit saying,
"Oh yeah,
come on,
that's right, pay attention." Yeah. How about for you? Really when you see the cards, do you have a certain one that comes
I
out?
do. There's probably a few, probably the same as you. The Nine of Swords would be one that, it's traditional, nightmares, that kind of thing. When I think of it, there's a couple of things that I think about, and it's more in terms of mental health. I don't see it as like a specific card to mental health issue, but it's interesting because sleep itself is such a big piece of mental health.
Yes.
And so sleep disorders can be related to how you're feeling.
Sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea.
But even depression, a lot of depression can be seen as, if you're having a sleep disorder, you end up with, like, it affects your whole body. And so I would think of that as, sleep disorders, but also, is there something else going on that's really affecting your sleep, and really have a look at getting that good sleep.
That's amazing. Seriously, I never even thought of sleep apnea. That is like perfect. I got a new thing to put in my bag. That is so awesome.
I know, that's the way I felt.
I'm so glad we're doing this. We've been putting this off for like ever.
Well, yeah, but it's good so far. So good.
I know. Another card for me, an obvious one, and I think to many people as well, is this one's called the Lady, but it's actually the Empress card, and obviously she's pregnant, so the health practice, in areas of health, physical health, being pregnant. So that's definitely a card that we all know about. Most of us know, anyways. Kind of an obvious picker.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's definitely one that, and I love that card too, because I wonder if I have my copy. I guess it's all the same. It's the Lady. Yeah. But this was the reason that I bought the Druidcraft deck in the first place. It's absolutely beautiful, and how bountiful she is. How not just pregnant, but just being able to be receptive to everything that the earth has available to it. So,
and for me too, this deck, when you got this, I was like, I love the illustrations that he brings into the feet, because the feet are always doing different things in this deck too. So it's
that's very
much
true.
Fun.
Yes, that's something I hadn't thought of. Interesting for me, the Major Arcana. I was just kind of touching on when we were setting up for this. It really seems to speak to me to ways of being in your house, and so that whole being in abundance, or being able to be receptive to maybe the healthy things that you can do for yourself,
right?
Taking care of yourself. This is something that
healthy
also
food, because she's obviously got lots of so definitely
absolutely.
Speaking of that, because we made some piles basically of like physical health, mental health, and healthy practices. And when you say nutrition with the Empress card, this one makes me think drink lots of water.
Flush.
You need more. Yeah. Maybe a couple days of detox.
Too funny. Well, it's interesting because yesterday, I'm going to pull mine up. Yesterday, I had read a quote from a Zen master who talked about someone coming for lessons, and the master had poured tea and just kept pouring and pouring and pouring, and the cup kept flowing over and flowing over, and the pot emptied, and the master had said, how am I supposed to fill your cup with knowledge when it's already full? Empty it and come back to me. And it's interesting when you talk about that, because sometimes we do need to detox. We need to empty our cups, our bodies of that unhealthy stuff, so that we can fill it with the good stuff.
Totally.
So, very cool. Yeah, soup. Very neat.
Have lots of soup. Clear fluids.
Water.
That is hilarious. So we also have little guys kind of working around us, so that's how our visits will go. We're moms.
Always.
Who play with tarot. So it might be a little bit disrupted, but that's okay. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
So for another card, you know what? I found the 10 when I was looking initially at health related things that you could really take as impressions of health. The 10s, 9s, and 8s really spoke a lot to me, which is kind of interesting. But the 10s, like literally on a material level, you know, if a 10 was to come, I'd probably think more of like an actual experience of. So,
Right.
you know, how it's feeling in your body. So
Right.
10 of Swords is a good example.
Yeah.
There we go. And to me, that just screams backache.
Backache,
Back pain.
big time.
The sword, I think itself is like a neurological or a neuromuscular issue as far as like piercing pain. You know, when you're experiencing it, it's not the dull throbbing pain; it's a piercing muscle pain.
Yeah.
And so I see that with the 10 of Swords, that back pain.
Yeah, and sciatic too, because like some of those can go right down. I've seen other cards where it actually goes all the way down the spine.
Wow.
Yeah. There's other illustrations that kind of show that, but definitely could bring it in. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Let me just see. Well, another obvious one is the Three of Swords. So, you know, this could also, like, it could be heartache, but it could also be like an actual physical heart issue that's going on as well. And I just realized these little holes could actually be referring to the arteries.
Yes.
So it could be some kind of issue in terms of one of the arteries going to one of the hearts, or maybe multiple arteries, where you might need a stent, say, to bring it open.
Yeah, that's such a neat idea, and so really neat, because really when you're looking at a picture, sometimes it's where you're pulled towards. So it could be pulled toward the heart. It could be pulled toward those swords or that pain, right?
Yeah.
But it's also, you're absolutely right, there's that connection up to something else. And so actually when I saw that, I thought of the lungs. I thought of that whole, you know, that back and forth. And sometimes that can be you know, the difficulty there too.
Totally.
So it's heart related, but it's potentially more. So it really depends on where you're really being pulled to.
Yeah. Another way I think you can look at the tarot is, well, when I see these cards, these in particular, they're both bound. But look at where the areas of where they're being bound. So those could be actually areas physically that are being affected. So for instance, with this card, his mouth is being bound. So perhaps he's having trouble with speaking. Could be a throat issue, or maybe he's restricting that flow of clear thought and expressing oneself. This is also in the area of the solar plexus, so maybe they're really insecure and have anxiety issues. And also, I believe this would be the left foot or left ankle, so that could be flexibility in the body. Left foot usually being past related, so something is holding them back from the past to be able to move forward, and is making them insecure, and they don't feel like they can speak their truth.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it's interesting too, because that solar plexus, that's our, you know, our intellectual body, you know, that mental body, and so it has so much to do. I see anxiety with that too. Absolutely, it's got so much to do with our ability to speak. Our ability to feel bound. Yeah, very neat. And then you had
I had also the Eight of Swords, so then you can look at those areas. This is like lower back, almost joint issues, again in the wrists, eyes. One of the things I see too is for a female, especially, that suppression of feminine energy. You know, feeling like you're caught, or you're not able to kind of fully express yourself, especially around with all the swords with
around,
other
which
people.
is more of a masculine energy.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, so feeling like you're kind of blinded that way. It's like using your left brain. And not necessarily fully your right brain, which the left brain is more of your mathematics, is something that would be kind of left brain process. Emotion would be a right brain process. So you're feeling more like you can't be expressive in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I never even thought of that. That's a great thought.
Neat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because, of course, with the Eight of Swords, she could walk through that. You know, she could walk away, and so some of that is, sometimes it's about choosing that path and choosing how you present yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so-
ego can get in the way too with that, and most often.
Yeah.
And you feel like you need to conform a certain way,
Yes.
run with the pack, but it's not being completely authentic to yourself.
And you know, it's interesting because this, it's almost the word think. You think you need to.
Yes.
You feel differently, and that's where you're stuck.
Yeah, and that's
you
why
know.
you're being bound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Left brain, right brain. Yeah. Very
Sorry.
interesting.
My purse is up here.
So this is